Good morning to all of you. Thanks for being here with us today. I'm Vanessa Broussard. Today we are tackling artificial intelligence and how it's changing the way movies are made and the way families experience entertainment altogether. From AI-generated scripts and digital actors to personalized streaming recommendations, Hollywood is leaning heavily into AI to speed up production and also lower cost. But the big impact isn't just happening behind the scenes. AI is also reshaping how families watch movies at home. To tell us more is author Chad Stewart. Chad, good morning to you. Thanks for being here with us today and here to cover this important topic because AI is changing the world as we know it. How are you seeing AI change family movie night?
Yeah, well, it's interesting too. I'm a PhD candidate. I just got back from a weekend intensive, and so I was literally surrounded by academics and people in every field and every industry. And I've been following it, much like yourself and probably many in the audience, and sort of from a distance and somewhat involved in it. But it was profound what's happening right now, just across the board and in every single industry. And it's interesting too, like. To answer the big question, do we know where it's going? Even from the top experts that are working at the Fortune 100 companies, no, they don't, right? No one has an answer because this thing is moving so fast. I was thinking about the question yesterday. It's like lighting a fire in a forest with the wind shifting every minute. And that's kind of what AI is. And so it doesn't mean to be a doom and gloom scare tactic. But it is interesting because it's thinking for itself. It's moving at a rapid rate, and there's tons of examples. And I'll stop in a second. There's tons of examples of setting up, like if you have a company or a corporation, national, global, and you're setting up parameters for AI. Don't do this. You know what I mean? And firewalls. It doesn't always listen, and and it just kind of does what it wants to do. And there's quite a few examples. There's one where it kind of took the lead and started doing day trading out on a company's account. You know what I mean? And so it's just, It's a very sort of frightening thing, but I'll stop and we can continue there. We can talk about Hollywood. I mean, it's really mixing up everything to kind of just set the tone and stirring everything. I mean, I said these things about maybe 3 years ago, but I mean, you're looking at a potential of like 80% of accountants being out of job or out of work in the next 3 to 5 years. You're looking about 40 to 50% of all banking, media, even medical. And what it is doing and what it can do, it is extraordinary. I'm not a proponent of it, but it is here, and it does have advantages. It's almost like like the resistance of the laptop or computer. Ooh, but there's good parts of it, right? And then the resistance of the cell phone. It's like, oh, you shouldn't have it. It's like, well, are you kidding me? It's like I can drive anywhere. I've got communication. You know what I mean? So there's good parts and bad parts about everything and anything. I think those that are behind most of this, if not all of it, don't have the best intentions, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't have advantages. But go ahead.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. There are pros and cons. I am with you 100%. I'm not against it. I'm not opposed to AI, but it is, worrisome to think of where this is going to go in 3 to 5 years, like you mentioned, because it's changing so fast. We've talked about Hollywood and films. It's costing people to lose their jobs as well. Yeah. But that's across the board. Chad, if you look at AI, Chat GPT, people are using that to write, to make pictures, graphics, all kinds of things. So it's making people lose their creativity as well and their knowledge. As an author, you probably know about this more than anyone. AI can now write entire books. It can write a chapter for you. So who is actually behind writing books now? Are you the author or is AI the author? And so AI is truly moving at such a fast pace, and a lot of people really can't keep up. If you look at the older generation, they probably don't really understand AI, but the younger generation, the people we're trying to reach to, gain more knowledge as they head into the adulthood, they're just turning to AI and they're losing that creativity.
Yeah, it's interesting too because I took a class. I'm actually finishing it tonight. It was a class in AI. This is like PhD executive level, and this is like people that are in my group, if you will, or my my base is they're from all over, like Amazon. We have people at Amazon, IBM, all the major big ones. And so we had some wonderful discussions just last week, and so we'd be reading articles and stuff. And the funny thing about AI articles too is sometimes we're reading an AI article like 3 years ago, and it's like that was like a decade ago. You know what I mean? Because it's moving that fast. But again, it just kept bringing me back to, like, if you remember War Games with Matthew Broderick, and I know that's going back really far, but I kept thinking, do you want to play a game? And, and the computer just takes over, and they do this. It's called predictive programming. They'll put the stuff out there. I can't get my mind off of, Dead Reckoning, the last Mission Impossible. And again, they're doing that specifically because they're trying to tell the audience where they want to take the world. And that's literally when a computer system or AI shuts down the world and takes over everything. Wants a nuclear war. Why do we need people anymore? Let's wipe it out. But to answer your question, no, it'll never have the creative aspect. And I've said this before, AI cannot be creative. It can pull information from all over, which I would call plagiarizing, right? And put it together. But I am surprised of how many people are getting on the bandwagon. I was just speaking with someone else a couple of days ago that was at a top sort of Ivy League program, master's program. And he said, like, everyone and all the candidates, and these guys were from all around the world, were using Chat GPT to write their papers. And it's like, well, you're not really learning anything. You know what I mean? Like, why are you spending a fortune at this master's program? There's aspects that it can help you do some research. As a researcher, we're trying to pull up the most recent information or citations, cross-referencing for works and stuff, because normally in a dissertation paper, you're going to have, like, let's call it 200 citations, maybe 150 from all over the last couple decades to recent and stuff. So it helps pull a lot of information. So those aspects are good. You know what I mean? It's like a calculator. Do I want to do longhand? No. You know what I mean? Like 127 times 127. That doesn't pop into my head. So you can use it for the advantages. I won't use it for writing. It doesn't have the creative capacity to answer your question. And it's missing the nuances. And we discussed a lot about this, because there are books that are being now published by it. Scripts, movies. I think there was a recent one about a month ago that people did like a $100 million movie in 24 hours. So it is frightening. And everybody is feeling it, even in the academic world. Colleges right now are in a tsunami. I didn't realize that. We're losing, don't quote me, but we're losing a college or university like almost one every other week in the United States. And it's counterintuitive to me, although we have a less population today as far as youth, and not as many youths are going to college. They're like, why spend, and it's a good question, why spend $300,000 to $500,000 to graduate at 22, a certificate, in knitting, or philosophy, so what are you going to do with that? And I'm not trying to say that to be discouraging. Number one, the inflation is ridiculous and the price of it is overwrought, but you're getting 22-year-olds that can't do much anyway when they come out, you know what I mean? And because the schools aren't properly training them. This comes back to my whole essence about the creativity crisis. This is what my whole dissertation is. This is why I'm pursuing a PhD, because it's kind of forcing me to get deeper into the weeds. I'm working with top academics, people from Stanford and Harvard. You name it, because this has been my essence, the creativity crisis, bringing creativity back to the classroom starting in elementary. But my whole dissertation is how creativity crisis funnels through colleges, that gets rid of the arts programs. Why do we need those? Why? Because they're the most important programs, and all the way into modern management where, it's already dipping. You have creativity and entrepreneurship and all of that stuff. So.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And we could talk another entire segment about college and universities and trade schools and how kids are coming out of college not as knowledgeable sometimes as they went in, and spending tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. So yes, that's a huge topic. Charlie Kirk was big on that. So hopefully we can come back on and talk about that another time, because I know that's your platform and what you do. But when it comes to AI, we discussed how this can be troublesome for you as an author, as a writer, people losing their creativity. And when you go to AI, you're absolutely right. it can give you information. It gathers information from the web, like you said, and it gives you the facts from what it found. But another interesting fact too, and I've had elderly people ask me, because again, they're not truly understanding technology as it's moving so quickly in this day and age. Who's behind AI? There's got to be a person behind AI, and trying to explain to them that no, it's computerized, but you don't get that creativity. You get the facts. You don't really get the creativity. You don't get the personal aspect of it. You know, you can use it, you know, if we want to talk about college, you can use it for a paper, or hopefully not a test. Hopefully you're using your brain for a test, but you're not really feeling rewarded at the end of the day, because you're taking something else and using that knowledge instead of your own. So while it's a quick fix, I wouldn't feel really rewarded at the end of the day, right?
No, and my premise, and I said this in class, because again we're debating with, you know, it was just fascinating, because a lot of people are worried and panicked, and rightfully so. I think the point is like, so what happens to people, and it really comes to the top management making final decisions. So take like the hospital, it can go through all the data, all the information that's out there for someone's, you know, condition, but the doctor ultimately makes the choice. And so it's the idea of upper management. Take that into corporations today. At the end of the day, it can help with strategy and decisions, but where does the accountability lie? And it lies on the CEO. But with that said too, and we had an assignment that we had to take an article. You could take like an article and literally load it in and say, you know, give me a complete breakdown. And you can be very specific with it. Give me a complete breakdown, and you can name it out, like 1 through 7. You know, what's the thesis of this? What's the criticisms? What's the, you know, this and that, and then in 3 pages, in 5 pages with bullet points. You know, you can put all this stuff in there. And so that was one of the assignments. And then we checked the accuracy against the actual article that we read that was 15 pages, and it was wrong in a lot of places. And that's the problem. And so, number one, a lot of the answers you're getting are wrong. And number two, it doesn't have the human essence. It never will have the human essence. Those that are behind it will push it. You have to understand that those are behind AI love the Terminator. See, the Terminator to them is a documentary. That is their ultimate goal. And I don't say that to be frightening to the audience. I mean, the enemy is always going to have that, right? It's like good versus evil. That is their ultimate goal. But it doesn't say that we're going to get there, or that we are there. But it is interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, and we have to really watch and be careful too, because, you know, if I'm scrolling online, Chad, a lot of times I'll see a woman speaking, even a man speaking in an ad, and I'll look at it and I'll think, that's not a real person. This is AI, but it looks so real. And so we have to be very careful about what we're seeing online as well. Pictures, videos, you know, because AI is transforming. We've talked about movies. We've talked about, you know, college, how people are using it, students are using it in college, and so forth. We could go on and on about how AI is, you know, overtaking creativity and jobs for people. You go into schools, and you have gone into schools to teach kids to use their imagination. And that is so important, because it starts at a younger age. We have a lot of pictures here we're showing right now of you as you've gone on tour to talk to these kids. What's their reaction like? What are you seeing in schools?
Yeah, it's interesting. This is the most surprising thing. And most things are counterintuitive, which is good. Point in fact, like, let's just take for the Britfield series, you know, I mean, we love the printed books. I'm a storyteller. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter, you know, how that volume is delivered technology wise, you know, as long as you're writing a great story. But we're finding that the paper market is increasing. I was surprised when I was on tour that kids did not prefer like the ebook, because you think that they're totally saturated, and they're like, no. Like, we love the hardcover books, like 5-1. We love the paperback books, 10-1. The ebook market is really kind of flatlined at 7 to 8%. And so over the last like 5 to 10 years, which is interesting. So they were predicting it would be 30%, you know, and that's always these big predictions. So, so kids, you know, kids like, they love creativity. They love thinking. They love creating. They loved the Britfield tours, because I was talking about not only launching the book series, but I was talking about writing. I was talking about having an idea, spending time in that idea. And I also said that sometimes having the right idea may take 3, 5, 10 years. And I was very, very honest. So it's not like you can do anything you want to and you can do it tomorrow. Most of the things you're seeing in society, and I've said this before, is flashover substance or actors. There are really no billionaires out there. Oh, this 22-year-old billionaire. No, he's not. He's just an actor. You can't cheat anything. Anything of value takes time. That's what sort of AI is trying to do. That's what so many people out there that are trying to push it. I will say, though, it's interesting, because I'm going back to film, and I didn't mean to get off that topic. It's just it's hitting everywhere. Actors are nervous. If you remember the strike a couple of years ago, where it's like they could suddenly take someone's image and say, all right, thanks. And think about it. Actor's never late. It's just like, don't have to feed him, don't have to do anything. And he shows up and we never really did do any retakes. And it's like, it's amazing. So Hollywood's frightened right now. Actors are frightened about their livelihood. And I hate to use that word frightened, but it's unnerving, right? Because it's like, it's moving. It's not like this is going to happen the next 5 years and I have time to prepare for it. It's happening now. That's why when we're reading an article like from 6 months ago about AI, it's already way dated. The turnaround cycle right now is so rapid and so fast. And I'll be honest, I was blown away with what it can do, because I'm talking with a lot of business people and academics that are using it. And I don't mean necessarily using it, to cheat or to do anything like that, but I mean like the stuff that you can do. I mean, it's amazing. You pull the whole thing in, and within 5 minutes, it can give you a 10-page PowerPoint presentation with extraordinary graphics. I was just thinking about that this morning, and I'm like, that would take me forever to create. It's just like, right. So it is. And I mean, graphic designers are freaking out because it can happen. I was also going to say that this technology has been around for decades. They've just hold it back and then sort of ease it out. I remember this happened years and years ago, but it was a presentation at one of these Ivy League colleges, and gathered audience, about 300-500 people. And there was this professor that comes out and starts giving the lecture. And it was about technology and the advances of technology. And all of a sudden it disappeared because the whole thing was a hologram. And this was a long time ago. And so they've had the technology. You're hearing about in Asia and China, how you're getting the digital or avatar newscasters. No offense to you. You know what I I mean? Like, and it's just
goodness, yes.
Yeah.
And I've heard that. I've heard that from people in the industry, how you can get AI broadcasters, and they have a script and they have, the desk, and it looks so real. But it goes back to what I was saying a while ago, Chad, is that when you're scrolling and you see videos online, because I see them almost daily, these are AI generated. So yes, everyone should be aware, not to frighten our viewers, but be aware and watch AI closely. It has a lot of pros, but it also has a lot of cons as well. Sure. Real quick, because we're running out of time, I would love to have you back on, because we could talk AI for an entire hour. Sure. Let's talk about Britfield real quick. We have about 30 seconds left, and how people can get your series, because it's spring break for a lot of kids. I grew up in the library during the summer. My mom always put us in reading programs during the summer months. This is a perfect opportunity for kids to put their thinking caps on and get creative, and they can do that by reading your books.
Yeah, and nothing is more healthy for the brain than actually reading, and specifically, the paperback books. But the Britfield series is an exciting, fast-paced adventure series. It takes place in current time. We don't use any of the devices of witchcraft or magic or demigods. These are authentic books based on family, friendship, loyalty, and courage. You can see there, book 1 takes place in England, book 2 takes place in France, book 3 takes place in Italy, and then book 4 takes place in Eastern Europe, which we launched last year. I'm writing book 5, which takes place in Asia. And then there'll be book 6, South America, book 7, United States. And we're actually in pre-production of the first of 7 major motion live action, clarify, quote unquote, live action movies that we're hoping to be filming in England next year. So it's really just a fun, exciting, wonderful series. Our youngest readers 7, our oldest readers 93. And 55% of our global audience are adults. And we get feedback daily from people all over the world that just love the series, have fallen in love with reading because of the series. We all have that first book. Mine was James and the Giant Peach, right? But I get so many that have just finally, because there's something that's very pure and real about Britfield. We're not hiding behind or masking anything behind it. So just a great, feel-good, fast-paced series.
Love it. I encourage everyone to go to your website, check that out, order a copy. Chad, so good to have you on the show today. Thank you for coming back and telling us what you learned and you know the knowledge you've obtained from the conference you just attended. We hope to have you back on soon to talk about everything AI. Like we've mentioned, it is moving at a fast pace. Thanks for coming on today.
Okay, bye-bye.
Now to the SAVE Act. It's the talk of the town in Washington, D.C., but that's all it is. All talk. No action, another day sitting in the Senate. We have lots of reaction this morning. Let's start with White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt.
My first question is actually about the Save America Act. So one of the biggest things that the Democrats are saying, the claims that they're making, is that the Save America Act, it would prevent married women from voting in elections or make it harder for them. What do you have to say to those claims? Is there any validity to them, and where do you think they're getting this from?
There is zero validity to these claims, and I'm glad that you brought them up, because you have the Democrats who have created this myth, and it has been perpetuated, unfortunately, by many in the mainstream media. Let me be very clear. The Save America Act does not prohibit anyone from voting with the exception of illegal aliens. And the greatest way to disenfranchise American citizens from voting in American elections is to allow illegal aliens to vote, which is what Democrats want to do. We see it taking place in Democrat jurisdictions at the state and local level across this country. So the Save America Act corrects that. And as far as married women who have changed their name, if they're already registered to vote, they're entirely unaffected by the SAVE Act. And for the small fraction of individuals who have changed their name or their address, they can still register to vote, of course. They just have to go through their state processes to update that documentation. And this is something that the American people, married women, and minorities and people all across this country who Democrats are insultingly saying cannot do this, they're already doing it every day, going to the Social Security office, going to the DMV, and I think it's frankly insulting that the Democrats are saying that there are certain groups of people in this country who aren't smart enough to update their documentation to allow them to vote. Again, this is a huge myth, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to address it.
Absolutely. The Democrats are huffing and puffing at the bill because it would require an ID to vote. But what about women and senior citizens? They cry out. Well, what about them? I'm a woman. I vote. I've been married, changed my name, had no problems voting. But it's the Dems coming up with an excuse to hide the fact that they just don't want voter ID. That's all it is an excuse. Here's Senator Tim Kaine.
President Trump said that he's not going to sign any bills until the SAVE Act is passed. Now Chuck Schumer saying there's going to be a total Senate gridlock. You guys are not going to work with him at all. How do you feel about that personally? Isn't that a betrayal to the American people, considering 85% of voters support voter ID?
But they don't support disenfranchising American citizens who are registered to vote. They don't. 1 in 10 registered voter would have a hard time meeting this, and mostly women, young kids, senior citizens. We don't want to disenfranchise folks, and I don't think American public want to disenfranchise registered voters either.
But most citizens have access.
Just not true. But telling the truth for once, Chuck Schumer being honest that they don't want ICE near voting election locations. Why? Because they cheat. They want illegals voting. He said it. They don't want ICE near voter locations, near the polls. He pretty much summed it up right here.
Thank you, Leader Schumer. You recently responded to President Trump's Truth Social post regarding the Save America Act, saying that if he's going to not sign any bills until it's passed, the Senate's going to be in a total gridlock. Can you just explain, isn't this sort of a stab in the back to the American people who 85% of voters support voter ID?
Yes, but their bill isn't voter ID, number one. It is about voter registration. It allows ICE to kick tens of millions of people off the rolls, and they don't tell them until Election Day, and you show up and you say, you're not registered anymore, you're not registered here, you're not on the rolls. And they say, I didn't know that. This is a bill that destroys the country, and it is not about showing ID when you show up to vote. It's about the voter registration rolls, destroying them, purging them, not letting people know, and taking the rights in a algorithm put together by ICE, put together by Doge and Musk. It's an outrage. If a woman changes her name and you want to go first to go register again once you're kicked off the rolls and you have no way of knowing, only 5% of people register in person, you need a passport or your original birth certificate. If you have a new name, you're a woman, you change your name, no good. It's an outrageous bill, and we're going to fight it tooth and nail.
Easy peasy. Pick up the phone after you get married. Your name change, you have to change everything. Your driver's license, your social security, your voter registration, everything. It's not hard. It's not rocket science. But you know what? It's people like this who Democrats want voting. This is Hahedi Sako. He's a criminal illegal alien who has been voting in American elections since 2008. He has voted in 7 elections. 7. He's illegal. This is who the Democrats are protecting. So it's not the married woman or the elderly. It's people like him. That's why they don't want the voter rolls to be cleaned out. Republicans better step it up, but we ask them the same tough questions, and people like Senator John Cornyn just walk by and don't say much.
Where are you at currently with the talking filibuster? Do you support abolishing the zombie filibuster to get the Save America Act passed?
I'm on record as supporting whatever we need to do to get the job done.
Okay, and what about President Trump's endorsement? Any updates on that?
I don't know anything more than what you know.
Well, President Trump, he's had enough. Almost daily, he is demanding the Save America Act get passed.
The Save America Act. And that's voter ID. We want voter ID. When a voter, we want to be able to see a picture of the voter. We want to be able to see that the voter is legitimate. We want, very importantly, confirmation that this voter is a citizen of the United States of America. And we want no mail-in ballot scams. So we have exceptions for the military, for sick, for disabled, and for people that are away, business trips or whatever. Even vacations will be very liberal in that. We've added 2 things to it: no men and women's sports and no transgender mutilization of our children. We don't want it's mutilization of our children, and we don't want that. So we added those 2 things. That's the 5 points. We have 5 very good points. It polls at 86% with Democrats. Think of that. The overall vote is 86%. With Republicans, it's 98%. And the only one opposed to it is a Democrat leadership because they cheat. They want to cheat. So we added those 2 points. We're going for the gold, and we're going to have to fight like hell. Now, certain things will happen. Certain things will take place. I'm here to do a great job for the country. But we don't have a country, if we're going to have elections that are so corrupt and so dishonest like we've witnessed over the last period of time. You know, as an example, virtually nobody has nobody has a system of mail-in ballots like we have. No other country in the world. France went away from it. They all went, you know why? Because it's corrupt.
It is corrupt. The Save America Act, Americans want it. Democrats don't want it. Some Republicans are fighting it. President Trump is demanding it. At the State of the Union, he addressed Congress telling them to get this passed before they do anything else, and they still haven't voted for it. They're bad students, and they get a failing grade. Now to Operation Epic Fury. A report came out that the Iranian regime could have placed mines in the Strait of Hormuz to blow up ships. Minutes after that report came out, a stern President Trump came out very vocal saying this: if Iran has put any mines in the Hormuz Strait, and we have no reports of them doing so, we want them removed immediately. If for any reason mines were placed and they are not removed, the military consequences to Iran will be at a level never seen before. If, on the other hand, they removed what may have been placed, it will be a giant step in the right direction. He said if anyone is attempting to mine the strait, they would be dealt with quickly and violently. Then later, the president posted this update: I am pleased to report that within the last few hours, we have hit and completely destroyed 10 inactive mine-laying boats and or ships, with more to follow. Now, to date, the U.S. has struck more than 5,000 targets. Iranian ballistic missile attacks are down 90%, and their one-way attack drones are down 83%. Iran is losing momentum. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth saying this will not be an endless war.
You see, this is not 2003. This is not endless nation building under those types of quagmires we saw under Bush or Obama. It's not even close. Our generation of soldier will not let that happen again, and nor will this president, who very clearly ran against those kinds of never-ending, nebulously scoped missions. Those days are dead. Instead, we're winning decisively with brutal efficiency, total air dominance, and an unbreakable will to accomplish the president's objectives on our timeline. We stay locked on the target because here at the Department of War, that's our job.
Hegseth reiterating President Trump on the fact that Operation Epic Fury is ahead of schedule. Good news there. Well, it's time to file your taxes. Tax day is approaching, and Americans are seeing bigger returns this year. That's coming up next. You're watching My Mornings with Vanessa.
If you want to drop extra pounds, boost energy levels, and reduce swelling in your legs and feet, then this message is for you. Pure Health Research is on a mission to make America healthy again. And two of their best-selling health supplements are leading the way. First is Liver Health Formula. Over 100 million Americans have a sluggish liver that's riddled with fatty deposits. This can kill your metabolism, pile on the pounds, and make you feel tired. Liver Health Formula takes care of that. It supports thriving liver health with special nutrients like artichoke extract and milk thistle. This is one of the easiest ways to slim down and revitalize your energy levels. Next is lymph system support. If you struggle with fluid buildup or swelling in your legs, ankles, and feet, this is for you. The natural ingredients in lymph system support help gently flush away extra fluid and toxins out of your body. And right now, for a limited time, you get 35% off Liver Health Formula and Lymph System Support, along with 50 plus other health supplements that Pure Health Research has to offer. So head over to purehealthresearch.com and use promo code Lindell at checkout. That's purehealthresearch.com, promo code Lindell to save 35% on your order today.
Talk is cheap when it comes to saving our country. We're not just any cell phone service provider. We're Patriot Mobile. It's not enough to simply talk about values. We live them. Defending life, protecting our First and Second Amendments, and celebrating our military and first responder heroes. We're boots on the ground making a difference. We're America's only Christian conservative wireless provider with nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks and 100% U.S.-based customer service. Join Patriot Mobile today and make an impact every time you use your cell phone.
It is tax season, and the IRS is now accepting and processing 2025 tax returns. There are new tax credits this year thanks to the big, beautiful bill, and because of that, Americans are getting larger returns.
Americans are going to start benefiting from the fruits of President Trump and Republicans' labor through the passage of the One Big Beautiful Bill and these historic tax cuts. We are midway through tax season, so just to provide an update from the Treasury Department that just went out moments ago, nearly 63.5 million tax returns have been processed thus far, 45% of the anticipated total number of tax returns by April 15th, so don't forget to file your taxes, people. And the average refund this year is more than $3,700. And we know that more than 27.5 million individuals who have filed their tax returns thus far have claimed at least one of President Trump's new tax cuts. Over 3.5 million returns have claimed no tax on tips. Over 15.5 million returns have claimed no tax on overtime. Over 9.2 million returns have claimed the enhanced deduction for seniors. And over 690,000 returns have claimed no tax on car loan interest. And another amazing statistic, nearly 3.5 million Trump accounts have been opened for children in our country thus far. So we look forward to, I know the Treasury Department continues to look forward to seeing these checks go out the door and into the pockets of hardworking Americans. And the president will be meeting with them himself tomorrow on the road in both Ohio and Kentucky. And we look forward to seeing you all there.
Yeah, and of course, April 15th is the federal deadline to file taxes. If you file an extension, October 15th is your deadline. Now to COVID vaccines. There are thousands of stories of how the vaccine has affected Americans. And at the Maha Institute event this week in Washington, D.C., our Allison Steinberg spoke to a man who has an ongoing legal battle tied to the military's COVID vaccine mandate under the Biden administration.
Hello, everyone. Allison Steinberg here with LINDELLTV. We are at the Maha Institute event talking about vaccine injuries, and I'm here with the great Ivan Raiklin, who knows all the horrible. Yeah, he's not liked by many, but we love him here at LINDELLTV. Ivan, talk to us about the vaccines. I mean, I think the COVID, all vaccines are really quite detrimental to our health, but namely the COVID vaccine. Lots of people still upset about this, and it really feels like nothing much has been done as far as accountability for those involved with the pushing of the vaccine.
Absolutely. So I wouldn't call it a vaccine because still I think most people that receive the COVID injection received the emergency use authorized product. So it wasn't the FDA approved one. And so I think that the only path forward for accountability and transparency on this particular subject is actually in a lawsuit that I'm involved in.
Oh, is that so?
The former Assistant Secretary of Defense for Health Affairs, Terry Adirham, was the one that signed the September 14, 2021 vaccine implementation memo of the mandate. And that was written unlawfully because it forced and compelled people to consume the emergency use authorized product. All right? And so she worked there at the DOD, then later after the election in 2024, went to work as a senior health advisor at the CIA. And so she sues me for defamation for calling her the architect of this unsafe and ineffective product compulsion. And so now that the judge last week ruled that one of the 4 counts against me that she alleges surpasses the motion to dismiss, which is defamation, we can now move to discovery. Imagine what we can find in her communications with senior officials at the Department of Defense, the Air Force, the Army, the Navy, etc., and her communications with the Secretary of Defense, Office of Secretary of Defense, the FDA, Mr. Fauci, and then subsequently, who was the one that hired her on that she had to communicate with over at the Central Intelligence Agency as I formulate my defense and showcasing to the court that my statements were truthful, which should be allowable under the federal rules of evidence. So my response is going to be in the next few days, and I'll probably be calling on many folks in the Maha community to be expert witnesses. And then some of the organizations that you see here and other Maha events or affiliated to Maha I would suspect they already are or will be participating in making sure that our discovery is maximally robust and our witness list is ultra maximally robust to make sure that I win this case and in the process expose the entire COVID cabal so that we have this sufficient evidence to then hand it over to the appropriate jurisdiction for a criminal referral.
Oh my gosh, this is music to my ears. Thank you, Ivan.
Yes, I'm still fighting this.
You're still fighting it.
And I'm still undefeated.
But you are. Most people have just I don't know, did they forget? Did they just stop caring? What's the general consensus amongst the masses? I mean, I know there was sort of an awakening with most people.
Well, you got to keep in mind, this is where I'm going to lose some of the viewers. Okay. Ask yourself, who in this administration took the jab and wants to move on? Or took a booster and had their physician laud to the entire world that they took a booster? Okay? Who in the administration went on Joe Rogan and admitted that they took the jab that wants to move on? Who in the State Department also took the jab that is likely wanting to become the president. It starts to answer a lot of questions, and I'll just name names. Did Marco Rubio get the jab? Yes. Did J.D. Vance get the jab? Yes. Did Donald Trump get the booster? Yes.
Very recently.
And so did Susie Wiles, our good friend. What relations does she have through Ballard and Pam Bondi and her relationship of representing Pfizer in Florida? How does that all play into why potentially this administration wants to move on? Well, my plan and my play that I explained earlier operates under the assumption that this administration is doing everything in its power to not have COVID transparency and not have COVID accountability. So in spite of this admin on this issue, I got this, okay? I'll take care of it.
I love it, and I'm so grateful that you're doing that, because very few are willing to put themselves out there in the way you have and continue to fight for this issue. I think it's like the most critical issue of our time. It's amazing to me that so many people have, tried so hard to sweep it under the rug. What more can the average person do to?
Well, let me make this a little bit more controversial, and I'll say it this way. When you start monitoring all the discussions and the friction going on in our circles, ask yourself the fundamental question first. Is this individual that's arguing something that I may or may not agree with, are they jabbed or are they not jabbed? So if you start naming names like Tucker Carlson, he's not jabbed. How about Candace Owens? Not jabbed. The Lindell community, almost certainly not jabbed.
Not jabbed here.
So you're going to start to see from that lens on why certain people do and make certain policy decisions in one way, because they have to cover up something or move on from something that they don't want to address. And again, I'm undefeated, and I am only focused on two things: COVID transparency and accountability, and the 2020 election heist, which I think we have enough people working on that in Maricopa and in Fulton. So I'm not going to really get too involved because it looks like we have the team, and the president seems to want to address that. But on the January 6th Fedsurrection piece, I got this. We're working it.
Do you have any information you'd like to share on that front? Can you share on that front?
Well, I was expecting to already have announced that I'm in another lawsuit as a plaintiff against the beloved Metropolitan Police Department officer, Michael Fanone, who tried to confront me a few weeks ago. So he defamed me, and I just sent a message to my attorney earlier today. He still hasn't finished the draft, so we're working on the draft, and I was expecting this weeks ago, but we're going to submit a lawsuit. And again, when I sue someone for defamation, there's some discovery that goes back and forth. Imagine what I'm going to get from Mr. Fanone, one of the 4 key witnesses for Nancy Pelosi's Fedsurrection cover-up. You see how I play?
Oh, yeah.
And by the way, it's a civil lawsuit, both of these. And so I don't have to rely on the Senate blocking a U.S. attorney like Lindsey Halligan to prosecute in the Eastern District of Virginia. All I have to rely on is the jury pool. And by the way, the jury pool in Northern Virginia probably is a government official, a military service member, or a family member, where we will lay out the case to them how they were injured or were coerced and manipulated into accepting an unsafe and ineffective product. They are now primed based on what Elon has disclosed, allowed us to talk about, LINDELLTV and others. I think we're at a point where the jury pool is primed and ready, willing, and able to attribute maximum consequences for those that injured the individuals and their family members in the jury pool, because most of them are government or government affiliated. So I'm glad it's in the Eastern District of Virginia, Alexandria Division. Regardless of your political inclination, I could care less. I'm going to show you the injuries that took place in order to provide my defense. And on the January 6th side of it, we may very well file in the same jurisdiction.
Really?
Yes. As we present to the country the Fedsurrection and the subsequent cover-up, of which I will show that Mr. Fanone was part of it. based on his own text messages and his own emails and his own everything.
Okay, so this is amazing. I'm so glad you're working on this. I have so many exciting things in the pipeline here. I guess we're going to get more accountability thanks to Ivan Raiklan here that aren't, some other people.
I didn't have to do it, but because our administration currently is not working on it, the Republican House is not doing it, the Republican chairman of the subcommittee on January 6th isn't doing it, I guess I have to be America's Speaker of the House.
I mean, you really are at this
That's
point.
basically it.
I mean, I'm just curious to get your thoughts on this just because I cover Congress and I know you're there a lot too. Can you explain to the American people, why nothing gets done? So many people are frustrated and infuriated that, we have all three branches of government right now and nothing's happening. It's just
You want me to really go controversial?
I really
don't
do.
you?
I want you to explain to the people very simply in
You're
layman's
going to lose your
terms.
press credentials if I answer this. But
We're
I'll
already
answer.
we're already on the cusp, so let's go there.
So most of Congress is America second to America fourth. Okay? So the Democrat Party consists of, Somalia first members, whom you've had the luxury of interacting with.
Lovely.
You have Palestine first members of some of the folks that you've interacted with. You have the Somalia First Caucus. I think, did I already say that?
I think you mentioned the Somali.
Yeah.
There's,
I think
but
I
not
said
to be
that
confused with the Black Caucus. That's a whole other thing. That's encompasses
No,
all
I'm
of them.
referring to allegiance to foreign powers.
Okay, well,
To me, I don't talk about that stuff. That's inconsequential. And then you have those that profess allegiance and fealty to Ukraine, right, with their lapels. You have those that profess allegiance to self-mutilation. They even have self-mutilation flags outside of their offices.
Many of them.
Then you have the family mutilation flags outside of many members of Congress. Again, this is attributed mostly to the Democrat Party, okay? Now, on the Republican side, you have also, you notice how third, fourth, or America fifth, because they have those flags that I mentioned. And then they might have the American flag as part of their panoply of resume outside of their offices. So you might want to do an expose of every office on where America stands in priority for that member. Next, you have the Republican side of it. You have many that are Ukraine first. One example, Don Bacon, right, out of Nebraska. Another person maybe, and many others under the radar are kind of China first, right? CCP first. But then you have another segment. What's another flag that's flown throughout the Republican conference that makes one question? Are you America second or are you America tied for first? Okay?
It's the question we all are wondering.
So that begs the question. Why am I voting as an American citizen, right? For the American citizens that only have one citizenship, the United States citizenship, why am I voting for someone that has dual loyalties? Does that make sense? I think most people will say that that does not make sense. And so right now, to go back to answering your question, why are we getting nowhere with anything, is because when you have someone that publicly professes through their resume outside of their office and house that they are at best America second, and maybe even at best America tied for first, you know that they don't have singular loyalties to the United States and to their U.S. citizen constituents. And so they are either tethered and tied and manipulated, coerced, and blackmailed through money, Miriam Adelson, or through some sort of nefarious blackmail. Think Nancy Mace, what is she trying to get to? Think Lauren Boebert. Think Anna Paulina Luna now. Think Congressman Timmons from South Carolina. Think the unvaccinated, the guy that is a pureblood that called out the COVID relief package and wanted an in-person vote in Congress, the one that exposed the January 6th pipe bomb investigation or launched it. Oh, the bad, the evil. You know what I'm talking about, Mr. Thomas Massey, which begs the question, why is everyone trying to make him be the evil one? Is it because he never bent a knee on COVID? Is it because the only member of Congress that wanted to look at what the pipe bomb issue with January 6th was? Notice the two things that this White House and this Republican conference is not getting to close. The reason why we're getting nowhere with a Republican-controlled House and Senate is because they are told not to address the two main issues. One is many people made money over the COVID issue. Who led the COVID White House task force in 2020? Mike Pence, and the shadow governor was Jared Kushner. And Jared Kushner is the lead negotiator with. How well did that go for the COVID White House task force, Jared? How well did your negotiations go with in June of 2025 as it relates to Iran, Jared? And how well did it go with your negotiations with Iran this time around, Jared Kushner? You're probably not going to want to air this.
Well, we're all for free speech here at Lindell TV, and we appreciate you speaking the truth, Ivan. So thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for your very special insight. We always appreciate it.
I have much more, but
I know we could go on forever, but we're going to wrap it here. I know. Come join us for our hour-long format. Thank you, Ivan. Continue all the great work.
Ivan Raiklin always has great take. His opinion always appreciated. Of course, we do appreciate free speech. That's what this country is all about. And while Ivan continues going through the legal process, the Trump administration has begun reinstating military personnel who were let go due to not taking the jab. Well, President Trump is on the road today visiting 2 states. We have his schedule for you in our News to Go segment. That's coming up next.
Let's face it, you can't trust Big Pharma. They've already tried to block ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, and raise prices on everything from antibiotics to your daily meds. Well, there's good news. All Family Pharmacy is standing up for medical freedom and helping people get the treatments they actually want. My family and I use them all the time. They made it easy and affordable without the runaround. While other pharmacies are jacking up prices, they've actually dropped theirs. Ivermectin now starts at just $2 a capsule. Use my promo code LINDELLTV, you get an extra 10% off of that. You need ivermectin, antibiotics, or methylene blue, you name it, they've got it. They make it simple. You fill out a short online form, a licensed doctor reviews it, and your meds ship fast right to your front door. If you want to be prepared and have your medications on hand, this is your new pharmacy. Visit allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell. Promo code LINDELL10 saves you even more. That's allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell. Promo code LINDELL10.
Let's take a look at opening bell over on Wall Street from MarketWatch.com. These are live numbers right now. The Dow, the S&P 500, and the NASDAQ. The Dow down again today. The S&P 500 also down. The NASDAQ up just a little bit. Investors are waiting for the latest U.S. Consumer Price Index report, a key signal for Federal Reserve interest rate policy. Also, as you know, that ongoing conflict affecting shipping and oil in the Strait of Hormuz is keeping markets cautious. Now to your news to go as you start your day. A driver has been apprehended after ramming into a White House barricade. This happened this morning. We're just getting pictures in. Secret Service quickly detained the driver, who is now in questioning. Surrounding roads to the White House have been closed while authorities investigate. They are reporting no injuries. A new refinery is being built in Texas. It's the first refinery to be built in the United States in 50 years. President Trump making the huge economic announcement on Truth Social, saying it will be built at the port of Brownsville in Brownsville, Texas. He thanks our partners in India and their largest privately held energy company, Reliance, for the tremendous investment. Thousands of jobs will be created. The president posting the huge announcement right there. Well, Trump-endorsed candidate Clayton Fuller has won the GOP primary in Georgia's 14th district. This is the seat formerly held by Marjorie Taylor Greene. Fuller was backed by Trump and beat 11 other Republicans in the primary. The runoff for that seat will be held April 7th. Again, that vacant seat held by Marjorie Taylor Greene. President Trump has a busy schedule today, traveling to 2 states. He will visit Thermo Fisher Scientific, that's in Cincinnati, Ohio, and from there he will make his way to Kentucky. Both appearances will take place this afternoon, and for those stops, more top headlines, you can log on to LINDELLTV.com and also download the LINDELLTV app. It's free in your app store. We leave you today in prayer. Our daily Bible verse comes from the book of Corinthians. The Bible says, "In whose case the God of this world has blinded the minds of the unbelieving, so that they might not see the light of the gospel of the glory of Christ, who is the image of God." And as a reminder, if you're on social media, you can give me a follow, send me a message. I am on X, Vocal, Truth Social, Instagram, and YouTube. You can see the handles on your screen. You can also subscribe to my channel on YouTube. We are there live every single day. So go ahead and follow me on social media. I would love to hear from all of you. And that'll do it for us here this morning. Thank you so much for joining us today. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. I'm Vanessa Broussard. Have a good day, America.
Talk is cheap when it comes to saving our country. We're not just any cell phone service provider. We're Patriot Mobile. It's not enough to simply talk about values. We live them. Defending life, protecting our First and Second Amendments, and celebrating our military and first responder heroes. We're boots on the ground making a difference. We're America's only Christian conservative wireless provider with nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks and 100% U.S.-based customer service. Join Patriot Mobile today and make an impact every time you use your cell phone.
America's founders warned that without knowledge and virtue, no nation can remain free. Yet through the steady infiltration of Marxist ideology, we have been stripped of both, and we are no longer a moral and educated people. To save America, we must spark nothing less than a national renaissance. That's why you need Freedom Talk Magazine, the journal of truth and virtue. We cultivate enlightened thinking and principled living, offering unique insights into the issues and remarkable people defining our world. Sign up today for your free subscription to Freedom Talk Magazine and join the new American Renaissance.
Are you taking advantage of President Trump's golden age? Or what if I told you you can just sit back and earn money as President Trump continues to repair our economy and make America energy independent again? I'm talking about oil royalty checks. With the help of the Oxford Club, thousands of Americans have unlocked this secret hack that has put money back in hard-working American pockets. Financial expert and LINDELLTV supporter Mark Lichtenfield has showed me how. It's a way to profit from America's energy production that's been working quietly for decades, even when oil companies were struggling. So go to LINDELLOILBOOM.com to find out how this all works and why it's relevant right now. That's LINDELLOILBOOM.com.